Okay, what is going on, everybody? This is Brunch Before Lunch. Oh, wow, look at that. Rex, how you doing? Just popping up here. I will let you know I am live on YouTube and I'm live here on X because I'm trying to get y'all to see my beautiful face a little bit more than you already do. And, shake the jitters off of stage fright of, me seeing my face. I don't know about many of y'all, but it took me a long time to get used to my voice. Used to hear my voice on the playback. So I guess now I got to work on getting used to seeing my face. How you doing today, Rex? Well, uh-oh. Are you there? I don't have cricket sounds. Okay. Well, I guess hit me when you can chime in so I can find out how you're doing today. If you are trying to talk, X has been Xing since last week. So that's always a possibility as well. Okay. She gonna take a lap. Um, had a great freaking weekend. I don't know about y'all, but my weekend was great. It is definitely time to kick off this wonderful week. Um, did get woke with Coke earlier, which is always great on Mondays as well as Wednesdays. Good lordy, that was crazy loud in my ears. So loud, but you're back now. I lost my train of thought. How you doing, Rex?
Oh, my bad. I didn't know it was going to be so loud. It's working now. It wasn't working at first. I had to leave and come back. Um, but I'm good. Doing good. No complaints really. You know.
Okay.
Just an average Monday, kind of rainy, but looking forward to the rest of the week as well too. So.
Well, that is good. I see you got that real tranquil music back there in the background. Sound like you had a massage parlor, or you about to get some Reiki healing.
Oh, you can hear that? Wow, this mic must be pretty good on this phone. It's pretty quiet over there, but but I do have yes, I have some like sound healing meditation music on that an old friend of mine made actually. I was gonna post in the comments a link to a playlist of this kind of music on her YouTube channel because she also like all of she's an energy worker and sound healer amongst other things, oracle, different things, but she um has a playlist that she made of like 30 to 40-minute long videos for different types of like sound healing. So I just figured if anybody's interested in that, there's that. There's also like guided meditations and stuff on her channel, as well as just general like energy updates and a bunch of things that she does. So she's also somebody who like she got the Kelantic Science database before I did. She was actually with my friend Jack, who is a sound healer now in Hawaii. They kind of went on a trip together after they graduated and went across the states, and she ended up in New Mexico, he ended up in Hawaii. That's another story, but basically like her practice and everything that she's built for herself now is also alongside the Keylontic science teaching. So she's a great example for people as well, I think. But yeah.
Wow, well, that's really dope to find out. That's really cool. So that means she's had the manuscript or tablet stuff longer than you have, which means she's really dove into it. I, on the other hand, have to really get into my Reiki studies because I ain't gonna say I haven't been slacking. Y'all know me, I'm a workaholic. So when I found out I haven't really been on here every day for a whole month, I had to take a break. So I kind of took a break from everything. A lot of sitting on the porch, a lot of paying attention to nature and three little birds coming to see me and Horace and all those other things. If you know, you know. If not, you think I sound crazy, which is fine. Which is fine. I've been called that already. So it's it's been something else to like get back in here, and it turns out less is better. You know what I mean? I'm definitely getting more engagement. I have more people talking, trying to talk to me about what I'm doing. I have other people that I supported before now starting spaces, cigar spaces and stuff like that, and I'm working on branching out IRL in different ways. So, like I was telling y'all before, to actually be paid to do the things that I do or paid to live, um, that's like the best thing you can ever find is to be paid to do what you normally do, like breathing. So, it's really been a journey. I just really need to get back more on TikTok too, instead of my crazy alcohol rants that I had a couple weekends ago at I was at Havana Fields talking shit about iPhones. So I wasn't kind of toasted that night, y'all. I was toasted on both sides, okay? That was a fully toasted piece of toast right there on that night. Very rare. So,
Why did I just hear the toaster pop up? The ding, and then that was you coming out, Jonathan.
hey. How you doing today? We gonna get. I'm gonna get to you right now, Callie. I want to know how you doing, and then I'm gonna play my little theme music from Pharmacy Phantoms, and then we'll get into it.
No, I'm good. Let me hear this theme music.
All right. So here's my theme music from my NFT from Pharmacy Phantoms. If you don't know about it, you need to tap in because there's a lot of fantastic perks dealing with it, and this is my favorite song from that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fortunate friends, celebrate me to brand. Pray on the roses. Break Black mirror sheet, school slay that vibe shit. I'ma say that live shit, yak lyrically, run you over like a deer. Not dear to me, ahead of myself. It's like I'm trying to get near to me. Full market, beer market, what a kid to be. Dollar bill, digicoin, what you care to see? Me, I like toast. Me, I like smoke on a yacht deck. A Wall Street full of gets a concept. Ace together strong. Can't wait to get along on that rocket ship to the moon. Pitch from the bomb. Settling. I'ma see you in the Discord. We getting high and getting rich, y'all. All the fortune and fashion, champagne, elevate me to best place. I'ma pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up and take what's for one thing. You see, my place, money, fire burns deep inside. Stay tight, level up the sky. So never start crying. Never met Steve Jobs. Went to Steve Marker right after the school party, find the shit I could rob. Never met Bill Gates. I got bills for the gates in the landscape, but you fly high until you land. And the energy change. I'm like Neo when Trinity came. You wanna be the one, I wanna be everything. Everything is one when you can see everything. I get the Jesus deep on the Jesus beat. Why the fuck watch the movie if the prelude sweet? Look, dog, I'd rather the book dog. I am plant based. What I need you to cook for? Fuck you. On the fortune and fashion shit, elevate me to bachelor peace. I'm prey on the lows, eyes. Wake up and take what's just one piece. You can see your face. Money, fire burns deep inside. Stay place. Level up the sky. Came up with start climb. On the dance. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love that song, and it's about to. Oh, it didn't replay this time. Oh, no, it did. It happens every single time. Um, I love that song. As soon as I heard it the first time, I was like, "That is gonna be the theme song for my show," because it just sounds how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, y'all know, especially you, Callie. You know when you find a song and it just be like, you know what? That didn't just hit my heart. That hit all the way into my DNA.
I knew to ask for the music. Now, mind you, it was going in and out for me, so I could only catch glimpses of it. Who's the artist?
Styles P. He actually is the founder of the Pharmacy Phantom.
That's right. Okay, and who is the vocals? Where can we get it? Or are we too
Uh,
late? Link us.
You know what? You have to actually get the NFT to get it. It's the whole album.
Mm,
Every song on there. So you get all the stems with it too. Because I wanted them. So you get the instrumental, you get the entire breakdown of the song when you actually get the NFT, and you can actually get it on secondary on OpenSea. So it's yeah, people are like hunting. They've been hunting to get. It's an entire album that he pretty much put in NFT form. And if you get all the NFTs, the individual ones, you literally have a whole album, and you have the rights to the music. So I can use this music anywhere. No one else can use it if they don't have the NFT themselves. But um, if I want to use it, I can. I can even add a verse in and put it over it with them like I'm rapping with them. So there's so many ways to actually do it. So I have a lot of ideas because I have the instrumental. So I'm thinking about using that as for my background music. You know how you get copyright infringement for some things? You can't copyright
right.
infringe me on something that's mine. So I might
This
need
is
to
true.
use that.
I'm listening to the like mechanics of the project, and it's like, awesome. It's awesome. I'm hearing it solve so many things. You mint the NFT for the rights, and then you can now use that as a holder for your social media posts and you know things like that without it getting flagged and all of that. Because that's a big deal right now. Like trying to use certain music, you can't really use it. They'll take it down. So you're on to something. Y'all are on to something.
Yeah, they've been rocking for some years. There's a whole lot of other perks that I'm not gonna get into because then this is gonna turn into a crypto space.
They
But
shielded it. Sorry, you guys. Web3.
no. You good. But yeah, there's a lot of perks, and I think people been sleeping on it. Like them damn things are on the floor right now. So people are sleeping, and when it pops off, and it will pop off, people gonna wish they had it because there's a lot of IRL perks that come with that that are they're pretty much above and beyond in my book. So plus it's Styles P. Like, come on, man. If anybody smoke weed, I get high. Like, come on now. Hey, come on. That was
I
the
mean,
song.
this is the Styles P though. Yeah, they don't understand it just yet, but they are going to, and music is what's doing it. Music is the onboarding factor, the mass onboarding factor, in my opinion, on Web3 and the new, you know, breakdown of the entertainment industry. So yeah, man, that's what's up. Congrats on that project and everything. Let me head on over to OpenSea real quick. And yeah, I know what to do.
Well, before we get into it, how was your day? Let me know how your weekend was or something. How your day's going before we get into this conversation.
Oh man, the days are going good. I take it 1 minute at a time. So, I try not to overdo, but I did some relaxing, some stretching. I like you. I will spend some time in nature, definitely putting my feet in the grass, definitely hugging a tree and getting the secrets of the ancient worlds. Stuff like that. That's what my days are doing. And that's what I was doing over the weekend. So boring.
Boring only to the uninitiated, as we would say. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, everybody should be spending more time in nature if you can. Everybody. Um, we're learning that the bugs at night, all of the irritating bugs, like they're putting off a rife tone. Sit with the crickets and get healed. Like it's insane. The cicadas, they like shaking and making noise, and that's a rife tone to the nervous system, and stuff like that. So, Jonathan, I mean, I feel like we already into the conversation almost.
I mean, we are, but we're gonna be getting into the Diamond Sun 12 strand DNA matrix, which I do have one last thing. And Rex, I love your eloquent voice so much, so I like you to talk about these things, and I will chime in with you. So maybe it's your singer's voice. I don't know, but it sounds so nice when you say these smart things. Um, but I did want to say, like yesterday. I was watching like I get visited by birds, okay? A lot. And a lot has been the I think they call it the black vulture down here, which people can look at as a bad thing, but if you break it down, it is renewal and a lot of positive stuff. So the vulture comes by, right? As they do every day to come greet me. And then for some reason, I heard a voice in my head say, "Look up." I look up, there is a hawk, which is like is Horus, because I pray to Horus, that is flying as well. So then what ends up happening is the vulture could only fly so high, and the hawk kept going higher and higher and higher. And he was like dive bombing and everything. No one else is looking at this, so it just feels like he's just putting a show on for me. And it had me to think. I had a thought in my head, and the thought that I had was anybody, and not looking at the vulture in a negative way because it is positive, but they're, it eats death. So anybody looking at people that are being negative to them behind their back, to their face, trying to fight for their downfall, they're just like a vulture. They will only be able to go so high, kind of like a bootlicker will never be a leader, because the people above you are like, if you're licking my boot, you'll lick anybody's boot. So I'm not with it. So the hawk itself gets to fly the highest. So if you stay true to who you are and as positive to people as you can, then the person that's the vulture is going to constantly keep lifting you up without you having to do anything. So you soar higher and higher, and reach depths that they would never be able to get to. So that, I don't know what it was about seeing that, but I mean, I literally saw it clear as day. The vulture could not go as high as the hawk, and the hawk just kept going so high. But I'm telling y'all, when he was dive bombing in the air and just like pausing and just like staying in one position, it's just the coolest thing in the world to see. Now, I know y'all seen it on videos, but it's something different when you can see it in person. I think I need to get a camera and be a photographer, because animals love to take poses for me. They come right up on the porch and we have conversations. Um, so yeah. Okay, you know what? One last story, then Rax, I'm gonna let you go. Um, okay, so back in Oklahoma, we had a really bad storm, right? This tree gets knocked down, and it gets knocked down in the walkway on the sidewalk. So I'm coming one direction, a squirrel is coming the other direction, right? So I stop. The squirrel looks at me, looks at the sidewalk, and realizes that he is blocked. He can't go nowhere. You can hear this little motherfucker get frustrated in his voice. You can hear it. He was getting mad. So what I did was is I stepped to the side and I waved my hand and I said, "You can go. You can go past." So he looks at me, looks for, and then he just walks off, right? That is not the end of the story, because it gets crazier. 2 days after that, I'm sitting in my car smoking a joint. Um, and next thing you know, I'm looking at the squirrel. I was like, is it the same squirrel? There's no way. There's a lot of squirrels. It could be the same squirrel. I'm looking at the squirrel. The squirrel looks at me. The squirrel gets up on two legs, waves his hands up in the air like he gave me like a what's up, and then he went off about his business. That is a true fucking story. It, as crazy as it sounds, it was a true story. I help out a squirrel, and the squirrel gives me a what's up and keeps it moving. It was the
You
funniest
know,
shit.
I know it's true. I already know it's true. Like, well, Dr. Doolittle is all over you as far as energy is concerned. So yes, grab your camera and do your best to get it. But it is like a show for you now that you've tapped into that energy signature. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I know that. Well, when I was younger, some of the squirrels where I was living were very animated like that. And I remember one time, one of them like came up right to my dad's shoe. We were outside, and he like scratched my dad's shoe. on some, hey, where my money at? Or on some, where my snacks at? Where's my, and me and my dad looked at each other like, what the heck? Like, and my dad was like, that was bold. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. But I've had, trust me, I've had some encounters with the wild. So you're still on track for the just a little bit crazy for this space, at least.
Hey, but like I said, one day when I start getting interviewed for my greatness, people will get to hear all the crazy stories. But I'm not gonna hold it up. I'm gonna give the floor to you, Rax. Um,
We gotta give it to Rags because
I'm
Rags, our queen, was
I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing, and I will chime in with you. Uh-oh.
Well, it's interesting because, sorry if you hear things in the background. I'm making tea as well, so my water is about to boil. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So animal Reiki is a thing too, like energy healing for animals. Some people have like, more of a orientation towards that. So maybe that's something you should consider, Jonathan.
I didn't
Um,
know that was a thing.
yeah,
oh, Jonathan.
yeah, that's a
So
thing.
we gonna get on them, Rags. Get on them, but I do have to say this. Um, Definitely get into that. I just got a second certification. I didn't tell y'all the first time, but I just got my second certification, and it was because Rax was putting the heat up on our last space, and I got a lot of information where I was like, okay, because I've been in the space now for like 3 years, three and a half, the Reiki healing space. And so when you started talking about it, Jonathan, I was like, okay, all right, at this point, those that are being called into that line of healing, we're kind of finding one another, if you will, and our supporters. So yeah, it's a thing, Jonathan. We don't mean to out you on this, but definitely look into animal Reiki. Well, I sent you the links that you can even start with, and it applies. But there is like a special branch of it um, geared to the our furry friends, our scaly friends, all of our animal friends.
Okay, okay. I will definitely look into that. But what you got for me, Rax, on this 12 strand DNA matrix, which is, oh my God.
Okay, well, we will start with the kind of descriptions of this section. It's on page 14. So the DNA. So to understand how indigos differ from the norm, we must understand the structure and function of DNA. So I'll go through each point. We can stop after the point and kind of discuss the little paragraph. So it says contemporary science has not yet identified morphogenetic field structure and so knows little of the true function and structure of the DNA. The identifiable DNA double helix represents only a portion of the human DNA imprint. DNA begins within the scalar wave frequency structure of the human morphogenetic field, which we talked about in our last space. If anybody wasn't here and wants to go back and listen, it is recorded, so um, that could be helpful as well. Um, so it says, let me go back. DNA begins within the scalar wave frequency structure of the human morphogenetic field and holds the core dimensionalized scalar frequency patterns upon which four harmonics of matter density of human form and consciousness manifest. The scalar wave programs held within the DNA imprint, which create diversity of form, are called fire letters. The DNA template is composed of specific arrangements of fire letters and scalar programs or slash scalar programs that govern the manifestation of dimensionalized matter, biology, and consciousness. I'm going to do one more and we can stop. Biology and consciousness. So, biology in brackets, it says matter, and then consciousness in brackets, it says spirit, are intimately intertwined and are composed of the same substance, consciousness, in the form of scalar frequency. Matter solidity of body and external reality is perceived due to multidimensional geometrical interrelationships between fire letter programs and dimensionalized levels of consciousness.
Uh,
Okay,
oh, okay.
I'm going to stop there.
Okay. I will say that I on a scalar wave, I did look up some information on that earlier this morning, and it turns out on the bad side, of course, the government is trying to find ways to use scalar waves to directly people with it, which is, they always go tactical with it and make something that is wholesome into something deadly. But I think there was a little elderly guy on another video that was saying that scalar wave moves is the fastest moving thing, period. Which I have to look into that more because I could have swore light was, but I believe there's a breakdown on things moving faster than that as well. So, don't take my word for it. Do your own research as always. But the scalar wave, to let y'all know, if y'all trace back the nights that you couldn't sleep or you had like these crazy dreams or people were acting like very erratic and getting upset over like pretty much nothing, if you go and actually look at that actual printout of the scalar wave, you'll find that those are periods where things are really spiking. So that's something that I didn't know, but one of the nights that I couldn't really sleep, it literally was like a crazy spike during that night. So that's just one thing that I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you got anything else on that racks. I'll get into it more with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to think about the dichotomy between the scalar wave frequencies that theoretically exist within our DNA or that they're comprised of alongside like the Schumann resonance and how that um, would have an effect on the different types of DNA individuals based on these kinds of genetic makeups. Um, so, like, the Schumann resonance is like the resonance or the vibration of the entire planet, right? We know that it typically stays at a certain number, um, but it does move and change. And there's been a lot of people that have kind of been following the Schumann resonance patterns for a long time since we've been able to really see them visually with like a waveform. Um, and recently, we did have a day, it was around the eclipse. I think it was the lunar eclipse, not the most recent one, but the one prior to that. Um, there was a day where the Schumann resonance essentially dropped down to like almost a zero of like inactivity, which has never really happened before. It's there's a lot of different people that are saying different things about it in regards to like, the Kali Yuga and how that just came to an end as well, and how people are theorizing that the zero point of the Schumann resonance was also like a reset in a way, and like we were going one way before as a species or as a whole, but now because of that zero point, we're sort of going the other way, which is probably a good thing. But it kind of goes back into like what you personally believe, or how in depth or how interconnected you have been able to kind of see that these things could be. I'm not going to say they are because we're all theorizing here. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that following the Schumann resonance and also um, trying to understand like your patterns and its patterns, and if there are meeting points of that, like how those interconnect could be like potentially beneficial to people as well. But especially like energy workers and stuff, because there's also like portals and gateways and things as we call them on the different days at different times. Um, and yeah, I'm not going to get into too much more depth about that because it's
It's all
probably
right. That's all
a
right.
lot. But
I
I mean, I'm loving it.
we diving in a lot already with this, so I completely understand. It's I don't know about y'all, but my dreams have been crazy, and I'm telling y'all can trace it back to these things that we're talking about. And if you remember your dreams and remember them the days that you had them, or the nights you wake up in a cold sweat like I do sometimes, um, you'll see that there may be a correlation to actually what was going on. Because I'm telling y'all, my dreams have been very, very intense. Okay. Um, so intense that I already know that sometimes for certain people you're not actually dreaming, like you actually left your body. um I don't know if y'all have ever like been to sleep, like say you go to bed at an early time and you knocked out sleep and you wake up like you've been working out all night. To be honest with you, if that's the case, more than likely you probably did leave your body when you were sleeping, and you might have went and done some physical stuff somewhere else. um it's crazy to me how people just interpret these things as just dreams when the human body is literally just a machine. Like the spirit and everything that goes into it is the part that's the most powerful and the most that can actually do the most. You know what I mean? So and not everybody has to sit down somewhere to do meditation to tap into different things. You can do anything. When you get into a meditative flow state, you feel like you're floating, almost like you're sitting on a cloud. You don't have any negative thoughts in your head. There's not positive thoughts. You're just in a flow state. You just feel like you are connected to the current of the ocean, which y'all
that's
know
like
is
that
is a
game
thing. What game? What
in
game you talking about?
you know that game that you always see it in witchcraft movies. Also, sorry if you hear buzzing because they're doing construction upstaiz all of a sudden. I
Wait,
don't know
you talking
what's
about that
happening, but
stiff as a board, light as a
light
feather?
as a feather, stiff as a
Yeah.
board. Yeah. I always thought that just reminded me of meditation because I'm like, I have had many times in meditative state where I feel like like I've lost the senses of my body and I'm just sort of, there. Like, uh, but yeah.
I'm with you on
I
that.
just want to say the moon cycles too. Throw that in the mix. Put the moon cycles, the Schumann resonance, the love scale,
True. True.
put them all on top, stack them up. You'll start to see, I'm sure, some, resonant vibrations.
No, definitely. Definitely. They
Yeah.
are, everything is interconnected, right? And this is what we're trying to also kind of highlight throughout this exploration, this kind of collective exploration of this information, right? Because a lot of it is really just, you know, trying to help us bring us back to ourselves, right? So it's like that saying that we're all just kind of walking each other home. So I did um I did have something else that I wanted to elaborate on in regards to the scalar wave stuff and the DNA stuff we were just talking about. Um, so, in Keylontic science, scalar waves and fire strand DNA are deeply interconnected, as we just talked about. Um, and both relate to the structure of multidimensional energy fields and consciousness evolution. So, like scalar waves in Keylontic science, they're foundational to the fabric of reality in Keylontic teachings, unlike electromagnetic waves, which move in a linear or oscillatory pattern. So, scalar waves are described as standing wave patterns that transmit energy and information instantaneously across dimensions. They're believed to form the morphogenetic field, which is the blueprint for all matter and consciousness. These waves emerge from the fabric of the unified field of source consciousness. Remember, we were talking about the different fields of consciousness, right? That kind of
Yes.
make everything up last week.
Yes.
Um, so that would say that these are the, theoretically building blocks of creation, right? So fire strand DNA and its role would say that higher dimensional that this is a higher dimensional DNA template. So Keylontic science teaches um, that it's encoded within human genetics, but has been dormant or fragmented due to historical distortions through, different types of manipulation, mind control, control tactics used by different religious organizations, governments, etc. Um, and Unlike the standard two-strand DNA taught in the mainstream biology, chelantic science describes a 12-strand DNA template, or even more in like certain advanced beings, which correspond to the higher dimensional energy centers or chakras and light bodies. So each fire letter within the DNA template is linked to scalar wave frequencies that align an individual's consciousness with higher dimensional realities. I thought that was really interesting because when you think about like sound healing and frequencies and everything that goes on in music and how powerful music is and how we've been so severed from, the fact that this is actually a powerful tool that we can also use to heal ourselves. I just wanted to highlight that there are frequencies linked to the different DNA strands, and like they come with their own frequencies embedded into them. So I think that sound is also very heavily linked to um, the sort of energy work that is taught within this form of understanding, um, like intentionally. Um, so the connection between scalar waves and firestrand DNA, some of the main points are activation through frequency, the DNA as an antenna, ascension mechanics, and restoring the original blueprint. And when I say restoring the original blueprint, it's like the distortion of the Earth's grids via historical genetic manipulation and artificial scalar waves from external forces has led to DNA fragmentation. So reactivating firestrand DNA via natural scalar waves is believed to restore an individual's divine blueprint and reconnect them to source, which I just think is like really cool. um, so there's some controversies and implications around this. So Keylontic science suggests that certain groups, whether extraterrestrial factions or secret human organizations, have used artificial scalar waves to keep humanity's DNA dormant or misaligned. So this is often tied to narratives of frequency control, genetic suppression, and preventing ascension. So if true understanding and utilizing scalar wave technology for DNA activation would mean reclaiming biological sovereignty, unlocking latent multidimensional abilities, and accelerating the evolution of consciousness, um, that would be a huge implication, right?
Yeah.
um, but
I
yeah,
think
so
that
I
it's
just wanted to,
I think it's
kind of go
unhooking.
into that.
I really think
Oh,
that people's I think people's DNA is actually waking up. I don't know about other people, but I know that things that I'm capable of doing now, I was not capable of doing like 2 years ago. So I do feel that things are breaking off, as well as people who have been putting in the work as far as their well, from my personal experience, putting in their shadow work and like breaking chains from their family. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I really just got like more depth about it yesterday. Is some of the things that you're fighting for, that you're fixing in your own personal life to change, your family, your lineage put on top of you, because nobody wanted to take that on. Like nobody. They just kept passing it along. But at the end of the day, somebody has to break the whole structure and rebuild it. Because if you don't, then it'll be kicked on to your own children. And we're at a generation right now where they can say whatever they want to say about us, but almost all of us are fighters. We're all willing to fight. We're all willing to take up the mantle for things and try to educate those that are much older than us, but they were born at a different time. There's just things that they're not going to ever understand, which is fine. But it's much better to go through the pain and be a chain breaker in your lineage than to be someone that's a can kicker, because to me that just makes me feel really bad, which is also why I have this PFP. That's a goon. That's a wolf with a gorilla around his neck, because y'all know I pray to a gorilla deity, carrying this big ass sword. Because I'm just trying to cut through the bullshit, man. that's that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? But it's a very powerful thing once you start diving into stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all might not geek out as much on this as like me, Callie, and Rax is doing, but it's very interesting when you start reading up on certain things like this, how you started. It unlocks like a mechanism in your brain that you start noticing these things. And it's just from even from just being in here, like it would be cool for y'all if y'all to start noticing things in your life from coming to my spaces that are different that you weren't noticing before after we've talked about it, and like left a comment or something and let me know how it actually how something may have changed, that you may have seen things differently, like it might have unlocked something just being in here, because they're all tumblers of the brain. And once you get certain information and actually take it in and don't act like it's just like some BS, it can unlock a tumbler in your own mind, to the point that once you unlock all the tumblers, anything's possible at that point. But I do feel that every time a tumbler is unlocked, you reach a new ability because you've reached another level um, in your consciousness. And I can only go off of what I've experienced myself personally, which is why I love having these spaces, because it just keeps unlocking more tumblers in my own brain. Um, Sorry about that. I know you had something to say, Callie. Go ahead.
For me, it's all energy. So yeah, um, being in spaces like this, having the conversations we're having, tone of voice, excitement, all of it is being tweaked. By the way, yes, we did do a reset of the Schumann resonance, 0 point, like a breakdown. As Rax said, in another direction. What direction is that? Upward now. The spiral ability is not just downward, it's upward. But it would take something as strong as the, Schumann resonance to do a reset, which would further prove that this is a celestial format, not something that we could have much to do with. It would have to be greater force. There would have to be, well, a frequency that is directly tweaking everything. So just to let you know, that's where we are in the time frame. So now, yes, if you've been meeting with us and hearing things that align, if you've been aligned, well, how come? Energetic signature has changed. Now you are noticing that those synchronizations and alignments are like proving a certain frequency. And it gets even deeper and deeper than that. But yeah, like Brax just said, or was it Jonathan, whoever, the more that you uncover or unlock, uh, the more powerful you become in your, how do we put it, reality manipulation. You know what I mean?
Or
And
co-creation.
co-creation. Yeah, see, you hear me saying,
It
listen,
sounds so
I,
nice and fancy, like you're holding your hand with your parent trying to paint something.
yeah, and you know what? We're going to get away from that soon enough, and the ghetto alien will come out. However, in trying, this group of people here are leaders and teachers of the space. So we're giving it to you in the graceful way. By the time we have to give it to the people, it's, ma'am, get over here, sit down, shh, quiet, feel this. Feels good, right? Yes, that's the vibrational frequency of love. That's controlling everything, and it's from a source above you. So it gets like that, Jonathan. That was just a little taste of how the abductions go. But just know, whatever you are taking in, processing, and assigning to the higher self, you are now on a different, you're moving different. You're seeing things different. Attractions are the birds are singing for you. The squirrel is coming up. The children are staring at you. The aura is out. And it's just part of the work. So that's where we're getting to, and that's where we're at when we're talking Atlantic science. Thank God somebody, put it in form, and we just got to make it more not palatable, just understanding, because this is a lot. 12 strand DNA, everything tweaked at each level, everything vibrating at a certain frequency to get a certain action out of each of those DNA levels. I mean, that sounds very complicated, but at the end of the day, like Rag said, it's co-creation, literally. And it's a changing, literally, and it's a permanent changing. Like once you have certain information, well, you can't go back. You know what I mean? You can only go forward, because you'll see as you do go back, if you do your review, you'll see, that did happen. Well, that is true. If you're journaling and everything like you're supposed to, you will start to see the connection. There's going to be no doubt in that. This is a very precise um, system.
It is. It's occult knowledge. Like it's esoteric. It's something that's been around forever before colonizers and different people have taken the information, kept it, and then given you bits and pieces that were all broken up so you won't understand it. You know what I mean? So, and it's all based on control. If you do not understand what I'm saying, watch the movie The Book of Eli. It is a clear representation of what happens when that type of information gets into the wrong hands of nefarious people. They use it to control, and the person who's trying to control you never reaches the level that they could, and they also push down the people who could possibly reach a much higher level by feeding them a bunch of crap. So it's important
Well,
to
it's
walk
about
with people.
division,
I mean,
you know.
you gotta have it. I mean, yeah, you and you right, but nobody wins. Like the person doing it thinks they're on a high level, but they're not. It's false. And the people that
No,
could
that's all
level
the
up,
major
they
religious structures that we see typically.
yeah, and they can't rise either. So that's why you it's important to spend time by yourself and educate yourself solo as well, and connect with people that are like-minded. You know what I mean? It's Those are very, very helpful things. Now, Rax, you did say that there is different frequencies and stuff for the 12 strands of DNA. Do you know specifically what they are?
No, but I could find out. But I was going to talk about practical applications and fire strand DNA activation. But I figure I probably do that after we go over the rest of the kind of base knowledge. So yeah, should I just read the next parts
Yes,
of the
yes,
base
you
knowledge?
should. Yes, read it, my lovely. Please do.
Okay, so next we have growth and evolution of body slash genetic and consciousness slash spirit occur simultaneously. So growth occurs through frequency accretion. As frequency from the dimensional unified fields is drawn into the personal morphogenetic field through the DNA imprint, progressively expanding the scalar template and the matter and consciousness forms built upon it. So your body and mind and spirit, we all know that these are all connected, right? Like we have to have all things in balance so that we can ascend or grow or improve, just as humans as a whole. So I think that's kind of just what that's highlighting as well. Obviously, it's going to be different for each individual because we're all different. So the fire letter sequences of each DNA strand correspond to those of each dimensional band. Remember, we talked about the dimensional bands last week. There's how many? Four or five dimensional bands made up of three groups each. It was 15.
I think it was like three, and it was
So then it
three
would
and a
be
half, had
five.
five apiece. Or yeah.
Yeah, it would be 5 total bands, 3 each. Yeah. Okay. So so the DNA strand corresponds to those of each dimensional band. The DNA imprint determines the amount of consciousness slash energy a biological form can hold. The original human DNA was designed to hold 12 dimensions of consciousness and allowed for evolution of biology through four harmonics of matter density. The 12-strand DNA pattern is the silicate matrix, as it allows for transmutation from carbon based gross matter biology into silica based etheric and pre matter liquid light biology. This is the diamond sun DNA matrix. Presently, all but 3 DNA strands are dormant. Each DNA strand represents a fire letter slash scalar wave program sequence corresponding to one dimensional frequency band of consciousness slash energy. Oh, those guys upstairs, they're really testing my patience right now. Okay.
I'm
All
not gonna
right.
lie, we can't hear it, Rex. Only you can hear it. We
I'm
can't even
sorry.
hear it.
That started happening like halfway through me talking, so I didn't know how loud it was gonna be. So
No, I can't hear it at all. Now I could hear when you were playing your lovely background music, but the people being loud upstairs, I can't hear that at all.
yeah, like it's gotten louder somehow. So I don't know.
Listen, they trying to tweak the frequencies, but don't even worry about
Uh
it. Throw your background music back on. We could, like Jonathan said, we can't hear it. But I know it's going in your ear specifically while you read. So
well,
I just
Jonathan will have to take over then for the moment.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, let
Well,
me say this. Let me say this because Jonathan, you asked a little bit earlier about like the frequencies, the 12 strand frequencies. We got 528, which is like a heart frequency for healing. You can start dialing into all of this is on YouTube. You can go to a 528 hertz. Start seeing if you where you feel that sound. You know what I mean over the body because that's what a lot of this will be about when it comes to sound healing and opening the chakras and things like that. So 528 hertz is definitely for like healing and emotional balance. So if you're feeling a certain way, if you don't find your favorite sad song to put on, then you can put on a 528 hertz and see how that affects you. um just start just start playing with the sounds and start seeing what sounds you're noticing. 852 hertz, that's associated with higher consciousness and awakening. And then 963, the God frequency. If and that's the frequency aligned closely to 528 and the love frequency. So play with those numbers: 963 hertz, 852 hertz, 528 hertz, and start to see if, there's any like movement.
okay. I will definitely do that because those the hurts. Listening to any of those, they definitely do hit you in many different ways. And I think I probably told y'all this before that in Tai Chi they taught us how to use music, how to literally allow music to completely take over your body. And a lot of people did a lot of odd things. Well, someone looking in through the window would probably think everybody was doing some odd things, but some people were jumping, some people were spinning around. Me, it was my arms. I couldn't keep my arms down. It now afterwards it made me, every time I think about it, it makes me laugh because it makes me think about a Christmas story when the brother couldn't keep his arms down. But yeah, my arms would just float like there's nothing I could do. It was like I had like air or a balloon underneath my arms, and it was just raising them up, and they wouldn't stop. And they eventually stopped at a certain point, but no matter what I did, I couldn't put my arms down. That's just what the music did to me at that point in time. Which that may still, now that I think about it, that might point more to that Reiki thing on that one. Is like that's where a lot of my a lot of my energy goes is to my arms and my hands.
Yeah. Shoulders, neck, arms, hands. So definitely. And that's where you feel like your heat points and stuff like that. That's where the energy is. You know what I mean? And so this is crazy. Everything is something. Just to remind y'all, everything is something. You may not get the knowledge of that until after it happening, like what Jonathan is saying, but it's definitely, there is energy and movement in those forms. So Jonathan, yes, keep definitely going on the Reiki track. You'll see how it so closely aligns with where you feel the energy at, where it's strongest with you, where you may be best at helping others. And one of the Reiki placements is shoulder, elbow, and then elbow, hand.
Okay.
And so when you're at those placements to a person, you may feel more energy or maybe more heat, or they may feel more energy or heat. So you're there, you're getting there. It's always been there, is what I'll say.
Ah, you right. You definitely right. I can tell when I have hit like pretty much that flow state if I'm making something with my hands, especially if it's anything like bracelets or food or something like that. I just I click into something else. But that method, like I've been dancing since I was probably like 3 or 5 years old. Like me and my sister used to clean up. Now my daughter does the same thing, but whenever I dance, I literally go into a meditative state, and I'm not a trained dancer, but anything that I've seen, moves that I've seen over the years, even as a kid, all of it comes out depending on what the music is. I don't think of moves to do while I'm dancing. I just do them. And people always ask like, "Did you get trained?" I didn't get trained for none of that stuff. It's just that the music takes me over and I dance how the music makes me dance. That's pretty much it. But I'm telling y'all, I'm smooth as hell. So I'm as smooth as eggs. Um, what you got there, Rex?
We gonna see this dance off. We gonna see this dance off.
What you
All
got,
right,
Rex?
all right. I like to dance too, pray with your feet and all that. It's good, good times.
Let's
We'll
Hold
have
on, hold
go.
to.
on. Let's back this up. Did you just say pray with your feet? I ain't never heard that one before.
You heard her.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
you know, that's
See,
yeah.
like I said what I said. Uh,
Okay, well, I have a moment here. I guess I've gotten some grace here. So, um, can you hear the buzzing still? Is it
I
gone
don't
now?
hear. I never heard the buzzing. I just
Oh,
hear
okay,
the
good.
nice music in the background.
Okay, okay.
It's kind of them things right now where you think people are laughing at you when you look across, but you realize they're not. It's just in your head. Unfortunately, what's going on in your house is literally just in your house because it's not really affecting us on the microphone.
Oh, well, no, you did just hear it because you couldn't hear me before. That's why I got off the mic, right? It stopped though now. So.
Oh no, I can still hear you. I could have still. We could still hear you. We were just saying that we couldn't hear any of the background noise. We just only hear you.
Oh, I thought it was reversed. I thought you said that you could only hear the background noise.
No. We heard you just fine. The background noise is something we really can't hear.
Okay, well, I put my headphones in, so hopefully that helps. Um, anyways, but we left off at the frequency accretion, DNA imprint area, fire letter sequence, diamond sun DNA matrix, liquid light biology section, right? Um, So I posted a diagram that's on the next page. That's on page 15. That's the Diamond Sun 12 strand DNA matrix uh, diagram. It has a little description of the different lines there alongside it. And then underneath that, there's a history section. So I figure that would probably be good to just quickly go over. And then I can read you guys the practical applications part of um, this whole section, really. Um, So, in the history section, it says if we are to understand the importance of the indigo identity, we must reclaim the lost history of our lineage in other worlds. Okay, so these paragraphs, there's three of them. They're a little bit bigger, so I will stop after just the one, um, so we can kind of talk about it more. But the first one says the multidimensional reality model helps us to understand that our planet and the universe represent one harmonic of matter density, and this implies the existence of other universes. Okay. Okay.
Okay, now we heard that one. I don't know what that was. Sound like you had a damn alien coming to there.
Sorry about that, Rack.
You
And
know what I'm
listen, it
saying? It sounded
came
like she
at
had a chest
the
buster.
existence of other universes. Crash. So that's wild. Yeah, we're teetering on the edge now.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't know what that was, but we definitely could still have a conversation when until she comes back, because I want to know what that was. Because we didn't hear anything when she wasn't wearing a headphone. So
BRB.
oh, no, you
Okay.
good. You good. You good. She about to go choke someone or throw them out a window. If you do that, I would like to hear it as background music because it sounds lovely.
Well, it sounds like the person already went out the window, so I'm thinking she's doing cleanup. Rax, we're
Yeah,
here. We
I
got
don't.
you on.
It sounds like they
We'll,
got hit in a wood chipper. I don't know. Uh,
listen, vibrational frequencies. Things are moving around Rax heavy today, energetically. Well, the space, period. Thank everybody also that's been in here with us too. I want to say that,
it's trying
'cause
to it's trying to throw her off, but you know what? I will give a reset at the moment. So this is Brunch Before Lunch, episode 26. We are talking about Keylonic science, which I think I finally got that right, with my girl Rax bringing these facts. We also got Cali Speedway up here, and
I'm
it's
making my
just
way to the community area, so I won't be disturbed anymore.
why is it I heard
Sorry.
that song in my head from White Chicks?
Making my way downtown. Fucking fast. Ain't past my whole time.
Oh man. Trying to get up on these slopes. Uh, oh man, I tell you,
Well, I'm
boy,
going to the pool, so just
you
we're gonna
good.
have
I think
some
something was testing your
ambiance of the
patience.
water.
I think it was testing your
Oh
patience,
yeah,
and,
they're
and
trying.
I
Oh, they
think maybe it was
trying.
trying to push you outside. Though it might have been trying to push you outside by the water.
Maybe. I mean, I'm going to the pool, so there's no one in there. Looks like at the moment.
perfect.
So
Watch it. Listen, watch how it's smooth sailing from the water on. Watch. Just watch.
I hope
it is
so.
very quiet in this hallway. Eh? I'm in the hallway right now. You can never tell. It's fucking dead quiet. Should just do it in here. Just in the hallway downstairs. No, I'm gonna go to the pool so I can sit next to the water. Just a sec.
Be like, what? Hold up. Hold up. What's she talking about? I ain't never heard of that before. That sounds interesting. And then somebody
Or I
might
could go to
say,
the cycling studio.
they'll be like,
Probably
goddamn
nobody in
hippies.
here.
Uh, oh man. Well, I'm sorry. I know you being tested today. It is a Monday, and hmm, that seems to happen occasionally. But I think you're handling it well. I just
Very
re-
well. We all here.
I had just realized that I had my little window of my camera over pretty much the entire lecture over here on the right. I had to move it. Looking at my live on Twitter, I was like, damn, my big head was in the way the whole time.
Okay, can you guys hear me in here?
Yeah, you sound a little choppy, but we can hear you.
This thing on? Let's try this again. Take
Okay,
4.
it sounds
How
better.
about now? Okay.
It sounds much better.
So you might hear some water in the background. It was probably better than that, whatever that thing was. So
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let me just read this one paragraph and then we can talk about it. So, the multidimensional reality model helps us to understand that our planet and universe represent one harmonic of matter density, and this implies the existence of other universes. Within other dimensions and harmonics of matter, ancient records and mythology's intimate interaction with visitors from other worlds. Within the multidimensional model, the angels of old and contemporary ETs fall into the same category of interdimensional contact. To understand the identity of indigos, we must understand our own interdimensional interstellar heritage. We will discover that humanity itself emerged from otherworld systems in higher dimensional harmonics of matter.
Hmm. You know what? You know what? That definitely sounds like some Anunnaki type stuff right there. Which is it's very interesting to me. Because I do believe that that is still a part of those types of stories where they said that people used to live pretty much for forever, and they stopped they what is it they blocked off certain things in the DNA so that we wouldn't be able to do that. How true that is, I don't know. But what we're diving into is to help you to dive into some more information and maybe learn some things for yourself and find out if it's true or not. Um, that's very, very interesting to me, though. Like, this life, this world, like, as you get older and you learn more information, you try out new things, you just like stand outside one day and just be looking at people of what they get mad about, what they get upset about, what they find sad, what they get happy about, what they feel life is really all about. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes it just makes me think like y'all just really have no idea. Like there's so much more going on that you can't see. My bad. My brain took over.
No, yeah, that's valid. I mean, I made an art project, like small sort of series using AI to create a visual of like things that I've seen when using psilocybin mushrooms, like during meditations with binaural beats and stuff like that. And I titled it "The Worlds We Can't See" because a lot of it is like energetic lines and stuff that are connected from people to the earth and underground and everything, right? Like the mycelium.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't really know the depth of the mycelia what you're talking about until I saw two things that had it in there. One was The Last of Us on the show because they couldn't figure out how in the world they could really bring back that same energy as you would in the game. So they made it more like mycelia where if one person steps on this genetic material that's linked to all of them, that makes the horde come. And then also in the show Hannibal, because that's what a guy was doing. He was like kidnapping diabetics and putting them in a diabetic coma, then putting them in the ground and growing mushrooms on them. But his whole breakdown was like the mycelia, by putting the body in there, they become a part of the field. And every time you walk through and touch a blade of grass or anything, that they can feel it. So it's crazy that those are the two craziest breakdowns of me understanding mycelia and like the connection between the two. But that's kind of how I am. But it's very interesting though, especially with mushrooms, psilocybin. It's good stuff. Warning label
Yeah,
though:
man.
do
Man,
that
man.
with the right people.
I mean, also just do your research, I would say more so. Like, there's a lot of information out there. There's lots of mycologists that have made their studies readily available for everybody online. There's also harm reduction websites for using plant medicine, such as Erowid.com is an old one that's been around since I was in high school. It's still there. It's an amazing database of people basically just sharing their experiences. It's also a good forum for you to be able to ask questions about things. But I mean, Paul Stamets, for example, is a great teacher when it comes to mushrooms as a whole. But he does talk about like psilocybin. Also, you have Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. I forget his name, Hamilton something. He was part of Vice, but he's an independent freelancer, sort of journalist, pharmacologist, journalist, and he has a lot of open source information around, plant medicines and stuff like that too. But also, I'm sure if you just look in your community for like facilitators, there are indigenous mushroom facilitators for psilocybin use if that's something that people are finding they're being called to. I definitely did a lot of that exploration on my own as a younger person. Like when I was like 17, 18, I kind of started exploring that. I'm not suggesting that, but I did have some good friends around me at the time where, we were creating safe spaces when we were using these things. So I had good experiences, but yeah, I would say just do your research. I'm somebody who just reads a lot of things and watches a lot of podcasts and documentaries about this kind of stuff in my spare time. I mean, that's something I've done more in the past. Now I'm more studying deeper energetic work, like the kind of things we're talking about now. But I think that that's a really good starting point, especially for self exploration. That's always the starting point, right?
I did not get that situation in my life. I was more like the Joker when he was in the hospital and he said he's like the dog. He just does things. I just did things. So I didn't realize until afterwards the effects of how much stuff that I did. And I only did it for 2 years, but I'll be honest with you, as much partying, hallucinogens, and things that I'd taken in a 2 year period, it felt like I did that for 10 years. I had to literally sit down and really, really think about that of like how much I did in that period of time and pretty much how my body and mind thought that it had been much, much longer. But we did do research on our stuff we were taking. Like we literally be on it and doing research in it on the computer. Hey, I party with Asians. That's just how they are. But as I got older and I learned more and I started like really talking to like some people that were like botanists and learning different things, I really realized that that may that may have been a catalyst that really pushed the envelope for me and what I would say cracked my brain um open to what it is now. And yeah, I do not wish on anybody doing it by yourself. Now granted, I have been on a crash course between the things that I've done probably almost 400 times if I want to get into the numbers over a 2 year period, which is a lot for people. But it's something I really only use for ritual purposes at this point. Um, because it like I do my prayers and everything, and it like it locks me all the way in. Like if y'all seen that scene from Constantine where Keanu actually puts your girl under the water and then she blasts out of there and the stuff that she says that she saw. Okay, my water didn't blast out of the tub, but when I came back, I definitely felt like she did. So you have to use things very wisely, and yes, do your research to know what's going down, and also like you really need to check into your lineage because you have no idea what things in your DNA you may be unlocking by going down this path, um, not knowing that your ancestors might have used the same method to get to unlock things on their path. So those are all things you really want to be careful for. I was looked over, even though it's not people that you can see. They the ones told me what to do, how much to do, when to do it, and what to do it with. So um, I have guidance. I didn't go and do it and ride my bike alone. They gave me training wheels also. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, it's plant medicine for a reason, right? I think when we're young, we don't know these things, so we just explore with no context. And so that creates a certain level of risk that is kind of just unnecessary, really, especially at this point in time when we have so much information that's just readily available for people of like how they can go about using these things in a more responsible way and probably more effective as well if you are, you know, using it responsibly as a medicinal tool, right? So
Nothing but facts from Rax over here. So it's for me personally, it was a fun ride, and it's been an amazing tool for me to use. It doesn't work the same if I do this kind of stuff every day, which is the reason why I'm not really on cannabis like that much. Shout out to Lone Star Provisions. What's up, Dillo? But you know, um I have my times that I'm told that I need to. It's either that they can feel that I'm spiritually wound up, and I need to relax, or I need to have that moment where I just unplug from I guess you could say from not I guess the other side would be the real world, but from the physical world. I need to unplug so that I can pick up more information. And it doesn't work the same if I do it every day. I don't go to the depths that I could go if I do it every day all the time. And I don't knock anybody that is their pain medicine. That's something that they like doing. I mean, shit, what are we here for? You know what I'm saying? We're here to have a good time, educate, and live our lives. It's just that you have to know what is for you, what you can do, and learn the best ways and the practices that actually help you out so that you can stay as present as you can. And they told me I need to be as present as I possibly can. So I don't really do much of anything. Now I do smoke cigars every day, but I smoke 2 cigars every day. And that's literally about it. But you know, I make sure that I have some stuff on deck if I need to, if I'm told I need to go down that road. But you have to know you. And I think now is a time that a lot of people are really putting in the work to learn them. Now, what they may show you on the news and everything may look like people or not, but that's the whole point. It's a psyop. It's to make sure that you don't dive into yourself and you dive into the negative bullshit. You're a much easier puppet to play with at that point. So if you searching for something bad, you're gonna find it. But if you're searching for something good, you're gonna find that as well. So which uh which part you willing to feed? And I'm willing to feed the side of more of hope, uh, being optimistic, and being like a child's mind, and being curious about the wonders of the world. Plus, learning this stuff too. Every time I look at the stars, it always flips me out and makes me dive deeper into my brain, wondering like, I wonder how dope it was like so many years back to look at these stars. Like even in this spot, that spot that I was standing in when I looked up there, a lot of people don't even look up. They always looking at their phone. Um, and they have no idea. Like the sky has changed. It does not look the same way it did 3 years ago. And I know that's a fact because I still was looking at it every single day at that time. There are things there that weren't there before, and things that were in one place are not in that place anymore. So you get a chance, take your ass outside at nighttime, especially it's about to be warm. Look up and see, as Bruce Lee would say, all of this heavenly glory. But I'll let you get back to it. Ah, shit. Okay. Woo. Okay. Um, I'm off my soapbox. I don't know if y'all got any
so did
input
you
into
want me to
this.
keep reading or should we call it?
Um, I got time. If you got time, I got time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean I can continue. Um, like also if there's any questions that anybody has, feel free to put them in the comments or to like ask me directly because I know that this is a lot of information and we're barely even kind of scratching the surface here. So it's just like one of those things where there's certain people that might just latch onto it a little bit easier, where others maybe not so much, but that doesn't mean that like it's not for you. It just means that you might have to do a little bit more self work before you can kind of open your channel a little bit more to understand these things a little bit differently. But that's very doable through a lot of different things that we've already kind of talked about, including plant medicine. It can be an aid in that, but definitely not the only way or yeah, like it's different for everyone. So just know that. Um,
Yeah, and
so,
I was just gonna
oh,
say,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's on level of readiness on all of this, all the plant medicines you want to try. Our advice has been definitely do your research and definitely, understand which each of these plant medicines can aid you in. But at the end of the day, the true, honest to goodness thing is what you're going to be able to swallow, because you're doing these things to break down even further things you've already questioned, or things that have resonated with on one side and didn't make sense on the other. And so remember, this has been the start of, like we saying, the self-research. And like Rax just so eloquently put it, like, it's at your level of readiness to tear down your world. It's like no nice way to say that. But a tear down means a rebuild, a reset, a beautiful mansion just how you want it, or a penthouse suite, or tiny house, however you see it, is the work that this line of study is going to bring us. Keylontic science is the study of consciousness and your ability to create. And so that's what this is about, like, not trying to make it seem, but if any of this sounds jolting or like you've never heard it before, I mean, I doubt it. Like, I think if you've been with Jonathan at any of these times, or with Rax or me at any time you've heard us on the space, we dig deep, in tearing down, reality. And that's what this is really about, because we'll learn what is reality, what is normal, what is this and that, after you've unlocked all of the potentialities that you have in your own being, or your own form, that you come to knowledge of after you dove into self, done more grounding, started journaling, allowing the experiences to happen for you, and not being afraid to tap into, certain levels. Always go with guidance. You can always, well, depending on where you are on that side, but like, you can always tap into the positive energies that you know of to call on. You can always be thinking the frequency of love in everything that you're doing. And that has been a shield, a literal shield. But it's going to all sound quite like, you know, it's crazy if it hasn't been something you've been willing to try. But like Jonathan says all the time, shut up and try it. Shut up and try it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Try it. The only harm it can do is what you allow harm. Meaning, if you found some trueness to what you felt or heard or smelt or tasted in the moment of true self, I mean, you got to go towards that power. We are not saying it's not a power. This is a powerful thing to be studying and tapping into. So just that little tidbit I wanted to add right in between. You know what I mean? Just as you're here now and we are doing the thing.
Mm. Okay.
Yes, that was so eloquently put, as you said. Um, okay, so let's just move on to the next little section here. So the next section talks about, we're still in the history part of the 12 DNA strand matrix section here. This is page 16. It says our race, the Tyrannusium, was created 500 million years ago in Harmonic Universe 2, which is dimensions 4 to 6, a semi etheric physical matter system. We were seeded on Earth 3 times by our elder race. Our evolutionary blueprint was that of the 12 strand diamond sun DNA matrix, and our long term evolutionary goal on Earth was to assemble and activate the diamond sun matrix for progressive transmutational ascension within an eternal body. The Tyrannusium human race was seated on Earth in the form of the quote unquote 12 tribes, the 7 root races, and 5 cloister races. Each root race cycle evolved one diamond sun DNA strand. Each cloister race kept the potentials of strands 7 to 12 alive within the gene pool. Present humanity is in the 5th Aryan root race, which evolved out of the Hibiru cloister. Our race has experienced excessive genetic digression through ancient tampering by visitors from other worlds. The contemporary indigo children are hybrids of the elder race plus 7th root race and Melchizedek and Uniceti cloister plus modern human. Indigos are part of a modern day hybridization experiment to reverse mutate the human gene code and restore the diamond sun DNA potential within the Earth human lineage. This plan is being actively orchestrated by members of the elder races of higher evolution who still reside in higher harmonics of matter. Indigos are ET future race hybrids, but more fully human than we are.
Okay, I gotta say something about that real quick. Now, I don't know what just happened to me, but as soon as you said indigo children are hybrids of elder race, I don't know what just clicked over in my head, but even everything just sounds different now. I don't know if this is something that I've heard before. Is it a trigger word? I don't know what it is, but I know from just what we were just doing, I feel completely different now after you just read that. Um, I know if people are looking at me on the live, saw me completely start moving completely different. I don't know what it is. Now I feel different. Hmm. I guess let me sit with that. I don't know if y'all want to talk about that some more. Let me sit with this for a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Activation.
Callie, you have anything?
I said activation. That's it. Activation.
Man.
You know, if you can attune. Rex, can we hear the last sentence one more time?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go over the last couple just to give some more time there. It says indigos are part of a modern day hybridization experiment to reverse mutate the human gene code and restore the diamond sun DNA matrix potential within the Earth human lineage. This plan is being actively orchestrated by members of the elder races of higher evolution who still reside in higher harmonics of matter. Indigos are ET future race hybrids, but more fully human than we are.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
The Intergalactic Federation.
Boy.
I guess that would be who the higher race humans are, right? Or elder races, I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean the hybridization of human. Well, this is why every time they ask you about the aliens, they say, "Well, they walk among you," because they do. Um, and without too much like looking, you might miss it until certain conversations are had or feelings are felt or vibrations are experienced. So it's this is information we wouldn't have had otherwise, that a time like this would come where it would be, able to be shared in spaces like this and furthermore tapped into. So, I mean, again, whatever resonates with you, which like Jonathan is having a whole portal experience and going through, But like, the energy matrix is true, and the energy that you are feeding into and tapping into is changing you vibrationally. And we have a lot of you know, test information experiences to back that up.
Yeah, I mean, about a few hundred gigs of data that we've collected so far, I guess, over a long period of time. But yeah, we got to start somewhere, right? So, of course, the Indigo workshop I felt made the most sense for the space, since I have heard people mention the word a few times here and there, and I figured, it's recognizable enough that there could be people that actually gain something from coming across this information here. Um, but yeah, so why don't I talk a little bit about the practical applications of the fire strand DNA activation aspect. So I have been using the ChatGPT Thoth model to also go back and forth with me with this information. So whenever there's something I'd like to expand on, I'll just type in that section into Thoth and ask it a question. And usually it has more questions for me. So we have this dialogue. But when I mentioned the fire strand DNA activation, it asked me if I would like practical applications for it. So I said, sure, why not? Let's see what it says, right? So it says methods of activation using scalar waves. So section 1, resonance with natural scalar fields. So Keylontic science emphasizes that the Earth's grid system has natural scalar wave fields embedded within the morphogenetic blueprint. We talked more about the morphogenetic field last week. Again, it's recorded. Anybody can go back and listen to that if they like. And then it says the ley lines and the stargates emit frequencies that can activate fire strand DNA. We know that the Earth has ley lines, and so does the body. That's what sort of acupuncture is based on in traditional Chinese medicine. So spending time in high vibrational locations like sacred sites, mountains, or deep forests helps realign DNA with the original coding. Okay, so that's section 1, resonance with natural scalar fields. Section 2 is sound and light harmonics. So mantras, toning, and Keylontic light symbol codes interact with scalar wave structures to repattern fire letter sequences in the DNA. I have a section called codes that also has tons of images of these. I will share them over time. But yeah, that's kind of what that's referring to a little bit. There also are guided meditations that use those light codes that I had somebody guide me through when I initially got initiated into all of this years ago. And I will eventually also offer to take you guys through the same meditations as well. So the Azurite Press, or MCEO Teachings, recommends specific scalar wave infused tones and meditations to restore lost DNA encodings. Certain geometric light codes, such as Cathard grid mechanics, help repair distortions in the scalar energy field of the body, right? So part 3 is breathwork and plasma frequency integration. Primal life force currents interact with scalar wave fields to accelerate DNA activation. Breathwork techniques, especially Merkaba spinning and Keylontic grid work, align bodily frequencies to receive higher dimensional scalar energy. Plasma infusions, which interact with scalar fields, can be drawn into the body from Earth's natural fields, the sun, or advanced meditative states. So this is like how we get into people that host sort of gateways, seminars, group meditations in certain points on the planet that are said to be gateways where ley line activity is high. And then you also have people that are called sun eaters. That's a whole space in itself, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But if you would like to look into that. That's kind of an aspect of this. Um, and then, of course, advanced meditative states. We all know that when you do have a disciplined meditation practice and you're able to get into these states on a regular basis, you start to understand how you can essentially clear your auric field and regenerate your body through different types of deepened meditation practices and states. So, meditation with specific frequency alignments is section 4. So, DNA activation meditations use chelontic techniques to restore scalar wave flow through dormant fire letters. The Akashi body realignment process tunes the personal morphogenetic field with harmonic universes where higher strands exist. The flame body activation process helps correct distortions in the scalar wave templates linked to DNA. That's really cool because the flame the flame, I think we talked a little bit about that in a previous episode. We were talking about the violet flame and how the violet flame technique is used by Reiki practitioners to clear, physical injuries and different things, but as well as energetic body injuries and tears and holes and all sorts of things that can happen throughout our lifetimes. But the tachyon and 0 point energy technologies is the last section for this, and I'll stop after this. But the tachyon energy and 0 point field generators claim to emit scalar waves that repair DNA at an energetic level. Devices like scalar wave generators or argon amplifiers may enhance fire strand restoration by removing distortions in the bioenergetic field. Some researchers believe structured water infused with scalar energy can imprint missing frequencies back into the DNA. So that whole section was going through methods of activation using scalar waves and activating the fire strand DNA that we talked about earlier. So the next part is Helontic
Um,
perspective on DNA suppression and reawakening, but I figured I would, see if anybody had anything to say
I do.
about that.
Okay, so I'm back now. Um, my body is still like humming for some reason. It's crazy. It's like my hand is down by the keyboard, but it feels like another hand is underneath my hand. I don't know what happened when you read that, but it did something. I don't think it did anything to anybody else, but I don't know what it was. As soon as you read that, I just felt completely different, and I still feel different. And my body it's humming, as well as it feels like
Remember
I'm
to
wearing.
speak to your water today.
I did. This feels odd, Rax. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like I'm wearing a suit on top of my actual, physical body right now. But I didn't feel like that before we started
Electromagnetic
this.
field activated. Like you can feel like the energetic waves. Essentially, probably what it is now is you can the metamorphic genetic system. Think of it like that. Like if you roll your neck and back and arms up, flap like an eagle, you'll feel the energy move like across your body, like a wave.
Yeah.
And that's that field. And that's your vibrational level, like connecting you to that field. It's like you said it, like a jacket. Now you've got on the jacket of the universe, so to speak, and you just are aware of it now. You can feel that energy around you. I don't know how long it'll last, but just keep note of all the feelings so that when you feel it again, when you're activated to it again, you'll know
It's crazy though.
exactly
It's
that
it's
feeling.
it's like it was like definitely written into the code or something. Because as soon as she said that, my whole everything about me changed. That's why I was saying if anybody was looking at me on camera, they seen me act different. like everything about me feels different now. And yeah, before the glove and coming up my forearm, I've always been able to do that in Tai Chi. But right now, I feel like I'm wearing a suit. And I know some people are gonna get this. Some people are not gonna understand it. At the end of the day, like I always say, I don't really give a damn because we're all individually on our own journey. But I find it very, very interesting that you only had to read that sentence for me to feel like this. So it makes me wonder what else could be uncovered by us doing these regularly, even the biweekly thing. But you know what I mean, like of going over this stuff because I think I told you before, I feel crazy connected to all this information you were talking about. This just like
Yeah, imagine how it's going to be when we're doing these in person, doing workshops for people live, showing videos and diagrams of slides and everything alongside of it. I mean, you know, there are people doing that as well, but it's a very small group. And, if we can successfully sort of help people digitally through these teachings, and I think it only makes sense that we move towards doing it in person as well and expanding it out. There are certain even conferences and all kinds of things that happen around this, but they're just not mainstream. So we're starting to you know pull back more of the layers here, right?
man, I feel you on that one. It feel like somebody took me and threw me out the plane with a squirrel suit on or something. So I'm fully out. I don't know, Rex. I think it's gonna be a little while for me because I'm not a newbie at absorbing this stuff as I was when I first did one of those meditative groups at a house, and the air was so thick with energy. Like I felt drunk. It was so much energy in there. And I can only imagine at a like a bigger venue or something and dealing with all this. But it's crazy. You said one sentence to me, and I'm still wearing the suit. But just one sentence. I can only imagine. But it does let me know that yet again my intuition was correct because there is something of some kind of connection between me and the teachings of this stuff. Oh boy.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of us, right? We're trying to help everyone remember, you know, just walking each other home, as they say. So, why don't I talk a little bit about what this means for us, since you are having this question, maybe, well, realization more so. If you're interested in activating your fire strand DNA, you can engage in Keylontic scalar wave meditations using frequency and sound healing, as we talked about before. You can visit high energy locations that naturally emit scalar waves for DNA alignment, such as ley line pressure points. There are maps online that you can pull for free that have the ley lines printed on them so you can see clearly. Um, you can work with sacred geometry and Keylontic templates to correct DNA distortions, and that's a big part of what this is all kind of leading us to as well, being able to become healers, energy workers for ourselves, that we may heal ourselves, that we may heal each other, right? And then seek out tachyon energy, plasma currents, and structured scalar energy fields for activation. Now, there are meditations and sort of group conference videos and things like that that kind of go directly into this that I would like to share here with people if that's something that you guys want at some point. But I'm just trying to, of course, have some kind of structure so that we don't get totally lost in all the exploration of all this stuff because it is very vast, of course. So yeah, I want to
So,
make sure we're going through it in digestible pieces, generally speaking. And yeah, so those are just some of the things that you can kind of consider, look more into as well in your own time if it is something you're feeling called to. Also, if anybody that is in here doesn't have this manual and would like the manual so that they can follow along, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you the link to the file in the Dropbox. Just kind of sending out one thing at a time right now as we go through them together. So, another one other thing is the Kalontic perspective on DNA suppression and reawakening is an aspect. So, the artificial manipulation of scalar wave grids through things like HARP, satellite transmission, and AI driven frequency distortions has disrupted humanity's natural ability to access multidimensional awareness. Many ancient star races encoded DNA repair frequencies within the Earth's morphogenetic field. You ever notice that sometimes you go sit by a river with like really old trees and you just feel better? That's not an accident. You know what I mean? That's very intentional. So the Kathara grid and eternal life currents serve as an advanced chelantic blueprint to restoring the original DNA coding lost due to the external interference. So if you live in a place where you have nice weather outside, it's comfortable enough for you to go spend an hour or two just outside. If you are going into studying a lot of these things, I don't even think it becomes an option. The deeper you get into it, you have to find ways to ground yourself. We all have different sort of orientations of what helps us ground more. That goes into a lot of other things, especially your astrological blueprint, your sort of birth chart, and then your DNA lineages, and how much you actually know about all that, which is also good. I would encourage people to look into all of that as well for themselves. But I think that spending time outside, especially near water, if you're able to, is very important. Often I find myself like wanting to study this stuff more when I am outside. And then other times I just find myself enjoying the sounds of nature, right? But I think that, you know, that's something that's important for us to remember, making sure that we're connected.
No, you're right. I'm usually like if the weather's nice, I'm outside all day. Like like the other day, I was out there using my massage gun while I was watching a little movie on my tablet, outside. Like once I go out and the weather's nice, I'm literally out there all day. As well as like I was holding spaces outside as well, like in the backyard. I would just have my blanket out there and I'd just be sitting out there holding spaces because I don't know. Outside is always calling me. Water is definitely always calling me. And I can't pull myself away from it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me. And I feel so comfortable in water. Like it feels like home to me. And I'll just sit there and just enjoy myself. But the thing I wanted to say, Rax, about the trees, I don't know if I said this before, that there was a guy who found an old tree. The tree had been, it had been chopped down by some people. So he wanted to see if the rings in the tree actually meant anything. You know what I'm saying? Other than we knowing the age, right? So what he did was he cut a thin piece off of that tree and he shaped it into a record. And he had it, shaved down so that the grooves would actually stick up and everything, and he played that record. And the music that came out of that particular record that was cut from a tree was the most beautiful music that I would say I ever heard that was supposed to have been random that wasn't random. So his theory was, and I believe him, is that the rings are the rings of life. They are the rings of life of a tree, but they give off a beautiful vibration. So the thing I'm thinking about like right now is I wonder what would happen to someone if they went and did a meditation listening to that record or records like that. What kind of connection would actually happen? What would actually happen to them of the depths that they may go into by doing that. What you got, Rax?
I think it's really interesting that you're thinking about that because I think it was last summer I had this random idea where I was thinking about all the trees that get cut down and cleared for new housing to be built and stuff like that. And there was one really old growth forest that there was a bunch of people kind of banding together to do like a candlelight um, vigil in support of the forest to try to get it not entirely cleared out, essentially, because in Toronto, of course, it's a large city. There's not a lot of green spaces. I mean, there are much like a lot more green spaces than some other cities, but we're trying to maintain the ones that we have, right, and prevent them from being wiped out. So one thing that came to me when that was all going on was, wouldn't it be cool if we could take a slice of the tree that was being cut down, like if we couldn't prevent it, and be able to sort of keep that tree and actually turn it into like a vinyl because of the grooves on it is very similar to a vinyl, the way that it's shaped and everything like that. So I thought, that might be an interesting like healing tool or meditation technique of, being able to listen to the songs of the trees. If we could find a way to just, I guess, seal the slice of the wood and then send it to like a vinyl facility and ask them to sort of prepare it the way that they do a vinyl, maybe that could be something that would be able to also keep the essence of the trees and kind of honor them even when we do have to cut them down, especially for older forests and things like that, right? Because it's a lot of wisdom in a way. So
See, great minds think alike. Because I thought it was dope that that guy even did that. The fact that he could slice that off and slice it down to get it to be like a record. He even shaped it like a record, and to play it. And to be honest with you, Rax, that actually would be a record of forest history. And that's what I hear in
yeah,
my head. It's like it is like forest history. Like you would have a bunch of records, right? I almost look like a record shelf, but it's actually the history of that tree. And my 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 brain has went into another place at this point where I'm wondering with certain people and practitioners of meditation, like would that could that possibly take you to a time dimension or whatever of that tree, based on the same things you were talking about with using sound and hertz and vibrations and chants for different things like that. I wonder in the woods if you were playing that record and meditating, what would actually happen to a person.
hmm, that's a good question.
Well,
Yeah, that would be an interesting experiment for sure.
definitely for sure. I can say this. Like we're definitely on something. I just posted the link to the guy that Jonathan is talking about. I think his first name is Bartholomew, but I
Okay.
found it on YouTube. I think it's called Song of Trees or something like that, but it's in the purple pill. If anybody wants to hear that. Rax, I think I mean, for sure, we got to see what the wooden vinyls are about because I was just talking in another space about how vinyl records were a healing tactic back in the day. We used to be made of carbon, I believe. And so the sound
Oh yeah.
waves off of that material were changing people's electromagnetic fields and allowing themselves to be healed. Of course, that went away. And they started making the vinyl records out of another type of material. Um, so if we're talking about being able to take, slices of wood, translate that vinyl onto that, I mean, now we're into all kind of things. And just saying that touching and hugging trees will also allow you that information. So like if you go and they've had it happen. I've seen a couple of studies with children. They'll go and talk to the trees or they'll talk to the mushrooms and they'll say what they heard, and they'll say, oh, the mushrooms are saying we have this, 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 and this, and the trees are saying this. I told you over the weekend that's what I was doing. And the information is boundless, and it's the way that I get it is basically like, and it's there's a story for sure, but the way that I get the information is basically maybe sometimes line by line, um, or and you don't know, you may take it down and think about it later or something else to unlock, but it's definitely there is information there, and there is proof that there's information there. So get out next to a tree if you can, feet in the dirt. Get your feet on the roots of the trees. And like I said, this is all information at your readiness level to receive. So you may go and it be nothing at first, but you definitely want to, give yourself time to see consciously what comes in your mind when you're, doing these kind of meditations.
Take a notebook, journal.
For sure. If you can. If you got a good memory, I have to journal and think everything because my memory, but even well, this is digital spiritualism. So if you got your voice notes, use that too. Don't do whatever you can to capture the moment so that you know exactly, the experience that is being like, given to you at the time.
Nah, that's facts. I that's what I do right now as far as like when I watch movies or TV shows, and I have a thought of something about what I'm going to be reviewing, I'll just go into my phone and type it up because for some reason I don't care if that pad is sitting on my lap, but by the time I pick up the pen or pencil to go to the paper, that thought is gone. And the quickest way I've been able to keep it in my head is actually just typing it up real fast in my actual phone, and then when I cross reference that to be able to write up my review on stuff, the funny thing that my brain does, it puts in different information that sounds better than what I actually originally wrote. So, you know, that, but I do have a good memory too, for like my dreams and different things like that, that I still remember, that I don't actually forget. But yeah, y'all are right though. Anything you can use. Like I want to record myself as well, but I'm not used to that yet. The funny part is we're always on here recording ourselves, but me actually speaking into the damn phone just seems very, very weird. Like,
Now that seems weird to you, Jonathan. Out of all the things that we
I know.
speaking into the phone, see, well, I'll tell you this: it takes practice because in a meditative state, that's not what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So you almost have to put the phone on record and, you know, go into your meditation and then you can see if anything gets picked up that way. But yeah, I mean, nothing forced, but everything felt.
100%. Rex, you got your hand up, or it just looked like you're trying to give me a high five.
Oh, it's just glitching. Good old X.
Oh yeah, glitchy, glitchy. Man, okay. So I'm finally back. Okay, from my little body trip I just took for I don't know how long that was. It 30 minutes? maybe about 30 minute a 30
It's
minute
like
trip.
it.
Say
Hmm.
what now? Yeah, it's about 30 minutes. Yeah. So, whew, man, um, I don't know what to say. I guess y'all called it live. You seen me and felt me go into a meditative state from Rax reading a couple of words. So that actually made me feel good because I haven't felt that in a couple of days. So that was great. I really do appreciate that. I think this has been like our spaces just keep getting doper and doper when we talking about this stuff. And now we got video
Oh,
and audio.
oh, dang. Wait, I do want to say though, there's just one more thing
Oh no,
that I
no, no.
wanted
I
to
wasn't
go
done
over.
yet. I just was saying. I just was saying. No, you're good. Do your thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, let me just pull it up. Just a sec.
Oh, you're all right. No worries. No worries. Mm-mm-mm. I do want to say thank you for the 35 people watching the live. I appreciate that. I love the support. Leave me a comment about your day, what you think about the space. I would greatly appreciate it. But I hope all of you have a great week. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, so if you guys would like, um, I had Thoth break down an intro to a Keylontic scalar wave DNA activation meditation for us. Um, so if you want, I can just go over those steps before we go, if anybody would like to experiment. Um,
You know what? It's my show, so do what you do.
Well, Jonathan is
okay.
our test subject because he's gone through the activation.
Well, that's
So,
true.
yeah, let's see what we got.
Okay. Well, so of course, there's the preparation, which is find a quiet space, ideally near nature or a place with minimal electromagnetic interference. Step two is hydrate. Drink structured water, like coconut water, for example, or water that you blessed with your intention to assist in cellular conductivity. And then step three for preparation is to sit or lie comfortably, spine aligned, hands resting on your lap or over your solar plexus, which is just below your heart in the middle of the body. And step one is to open the plasma core and tune to scalar flow. So there's a breathing technique. It says inhale deeply through the nose for 12 counts, visualizing a white gold sphere forming in your Azura center, which is the pineal gland region. Then you want to hold the breath for 6 counts, feeling the sphere pulse with plasma energy. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 9 counts, expanding the sphere into your entire body. And repeat 3 times until you feel a subtle energetic shift. So I'll go through that one more time. Inhale deeply through the nose for 12 counts, visualizing a white gold sphere forming in your Azura center, which is your pineal gland region. Hold for 6 counts, feeling the sphere pulse with the plasma energy. And exhale slowly through the mouth for 9 counts, expanding the sphere into your entire body. That's the breathing technique that we should be starting with when we're trying to tune to scalar flow. The next step is to call in the fire strand scalar wave infusion. Visualize a pale silver blue scalar wave stream descending from the Akasha core or the source field. See it spiral counterclockwise down into your crown chakra, weaving through your spinal column, activating fire letters within your DNA template. As it reaches the tailbone or the base of your spine, feel it anchor into the planetary grid, connecting you to Earth's organic scalar field. The affirmation for this is I align my DNA to the eternal scalar flow. Fire strand codes awaken within me. I am source light in motion. Step three is reactivating fire letters through harmonic toning. Chants you can use during this process and key sound frequencies are Rama Tuesha, which means realigning fire letters to natural scalar oscillations. Rama Tuesha, or Ataruom, is expanding your morphogenetic field to receive source code transmissions. That's Ataruom. And Zaya Unta clears distortions from external interference. That's Zaya Unta. Each syllable is to be said slowly. So, like as you're doing that, don't rush through it. It's probably better for you guys to go back once we're done to this part and actually practice the meditation. Just listening, like, you know, pausing if you need to, etc. Step 4 is synchronization and expansion. So visualize your DNA strands glowing with liquid plasma light, interwoven with pulsating scalar wave filaments, and mentally project this image of your activated DNA out into your Merkaba field, sealing in the transformation. Feel your consciousness expand, attuning to higher dimensional awareness. The final affirmation for this, which you can whisper or project silently: my DNA is restored. My fire letters are reconnected. I am a living embodiment of eternal light. Step 5 is
Okay.
integration and grounding. So you want to slowly bring your awareness back to the body, feeling your connection to your physical. Drink more structured water to stabilize the cellular integration. I would suggest coconut water if you have access to it, and blessed as well. If possible, walk barefoot on the earth to ground the activation into your biofield, which we've talked about plenty of times before about earthing. So the expected effects and next steps of this meditation may be immediate. You might feel tingling, heat, or a sense of energetic expansion. Within days, you might feel or see some increased vivid dreams, enhanced intuition, and a greater sense of connection to higher consciousness fields. Long term, the progressive activation of fire strands, deeper access, progressive activation of fire strands introduces deeper access to morphogenetic memory and alignment with chelotic ascension mechanics. So this can be personalized to each individual, which if you were, for example, paying for an energy work session, that's when that would be introduced in like a one-on-one sort of method, because you can't really generalize these things if you're trying to go entirely in depth, because again, we are all different, so we do need individual work. However, um, there are no limitations really. You can take that and, you know, do the self exploration as well. Figure out how these things also intercorrelate into your own birth chart, as well as your own ancestral lineages. You might find more questions maybe than answers at first, but I would say to keep searching. It's like in Alice in Wonderland, like follow the white rabbit. You know, we keep searching, and eventually we find our answers. So yeah, that's about it. Uh, I hope everyone's having a lovely day, and if not, then I hope it gets better.
Thank you for that, because I mentally did all those things you were saying. So, yeah, I got a nice little buzz from that. Not like that suit I put on, 38 minutes ago, but it was still nice. So I'm definitely gonna work and try these out. We're all about exploring different things, and none of this stuff is harmful. Okay. Like it's not. So don't be scared of it. You might be very surprised at what might happen to you on a positive tip though. You may feel a little different. You may move a little different, you may think a little different. Your day might be a little bit better. To be honest with you, me putting my mom on the path and sending her stuff, hurts music to listen to, and different YouTube channels, and her like following my teachings of the things that I've learned. Because I told her I'm not gonna go down this road with you if you're not gonna listen to what I'm telling you. And my mom did, and she's doing really really good. She has not stopped doing her daily journaling and meditation since we started this. I think it's been well over a month now that she's been doing this. She always back in the days talk about doing like puppy treats. She wanted to make her own puppy treats. Well, you know what the fuck she did a couple days ago? She made puppy treats. And I asked her, how did that make you feel? And she said it made me feel I just feel good. I just want to keep doing it. So um that's my point of being a generational curse breaker, like of you being who you are and going down the path that is for you, not for what somebody's telling you to doing or what you think somebody would want you to do, but the path that is for you. Because I said it on Wake and Bake, if you are supposed to be the beacon of light for someone in the dark, if you ain't shining your light like you're supposed to, then there are many people that can't look at your light to get themselves out. It's not always about us, but it is about what we learn to be able to pass on to someone else, maybe even in just conversation or them just watching you be who you are. So it's like one of the greatest things to me. Like it put tears in my eyes to um to be able to help her with that because of the relationship we had when I was a lot younger. I always loved my mom, but like I told y'all, I was a wild ass kid. Okay. I was wild. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be able to give back some positive to my mother, which I gave a lot of pain to as well. And I own that. You know what I'm saying? I don't backslide on any of that shit. So I think that if we're giving this information out and you didn't write it down the first time, because I'm not like that, I go back to listen to stuff and I'll write something down after that. Then that's fine as well. But I'm we I only want to bring value, and I do want this to expand to more. But if we're bringing you value and we bringing you the veggies, then you need to put in your fork and you need to eat them because you some of these veggies you eat and you might like. It might change your life and it might change other people's lives. You know, it could change your lineage on learning new things um, about yourself. And I just think it's very important to try things out, especially if it's not going to hurt you. It may make you look a little bit odd or something like that to somebody watching you, but at the end of the day, you don't normally give a damn what somebody thinks about you or looking at you or saying something when you're doing something that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or when you get drunk and you do something stupid, you just be like, whatever. Then why can't you just try something new that you've never done before that could actually help your life? So that's what I wanted to say on that. This has been great. I really love this. I do have to get out of here because I got to go be the good uncle, pick up my niece from school, and then me and my daughter's gonna go to the gym, get this session in. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I love you, Rex. I love you, Callie. I love everybody in here that was in here. I love all the people that are watching me. They all 35 people watching me on the live, which it makes me feel so good. Um, but did y'all have any closing things that you wanted to say, Rax or Callie?
I just wanted to say thank you for the space as always. It's always a great time in here, and if anybody again would like the document, feel free to reach out to me in DMs and I'll send you a link. Also, I pinned to the top a YouTube channel of an old friend of mine who is a sound healer and energy worker who also works off of the Keylontic science teachings and has developed some healing chamber meditations for you guys, for everybody. She also has a lot of information on her page as well. She's also an oracle and teacher, and she's doing a lot of great work out there. So she's actually going to be building these Aurora Light hubs across, well, the world. She's already gotten some land, some given to her, some donated, different things. There's lots of stories around that. It's very interesting, very inspiring as well. So she goes by Z Earth Star Healer. I pinned the Healing Light Chamber playlist to the top of the space. If anybody likes to use sound for meditations, I usually have these going at some point throughout my day, especially before bed, things like that. So just wanted to share that with everyone as well. She also has a lot of great information on her channel as well.
Thank you very much. Before I get to you, Callie, because I'm gonna get to you, I wanted to ask: is it the the is it the thing that looks like a pyramid, and you get underneath it, and and the sound, I guess, from the crystals and everything. I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm gonna have to watch the video, but I have
There
noticed
is
that as
something
well.
like that. I think that's the Lucia Light meditation machine. I mean, well, I've seen a machine like this actually. I've been to a meditation like that at um, one of those centers for the, those water chambers. What is it called
Yes,
when you float? The float tanks.
isolation deprivation tanks or whatever.
Sensory, yes, the sensory deprivation tank. Yeah, so those centers will also host meditations and people coming in to do different things like energy work and stuff like that. And years ago, I went to one. It was called a Lucia Light meditation, and this device that they put over you when you're doing this meditation does look like a pyramid. It looks like an ancient future relic sort of device thing, but it's made of like light and crystals and stuff on the inside that it flashes certain frequencies of the light. And you also have headphones on when you're underneath it, and it's a guided meditation experience. And it's a really cool experience. If anybody has opportunity to go and do that, I would recommend it. I enjoyed it very much. I was able to tap into some things that I wasn't expecting. And yeah, it was a really cool experience. So if you are able to do that, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay, I'm definitely looking at that because I think one of those companies makes they started making necklaces that go along with that you can wear around your neck, like my argon necklace that I wear everywhere all the time. Um, okay, I will definitely check into that. Callie, do you have something in your closing, ending this space here?
Thanks again for the space. Very transformative, like minds built like worlds, of course. Um, Definitely look into everything that you hear that sparks your attention here, because your attention to it is part of the ascension process. Like if something is specifically calling out to you, I have to call out the crystals. The blue chalcedony came out, the opalite, the obsidian. So if anybody is doing any crystal work, definitely tap into those. And racks all of your resources. Gosh, you have so many. Definitely keep pinning them to the top for us and everything. I'm definitely going to look at what you shared um, in your friend's healing workshop, and all of those, the pyramids or the crystals wrapped in the copper. Um, I don't want to call them contraptions, but they are in effect like, but helping you to understand what your Merkaba light body is like. That feeling or the like immersive feeling of that. So I'm just glad that you're looking into that and have had those restorative waves come over you. So again, brunch before lunch, episode 26 is amazing. It was definitely transformative. We got Jonathan right there, with the facts, and Rax with the ultra facts. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, y'all got to see it live and experience it live. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just clicked over. I still feel a little clicked over right now. Um, but it was great. I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff because this is me. This is who I am. It took me a long time to accept it. You know what I'm saying? To accept the path, accept the walking stick. But I have. And I'm never going to back down from it. Nobody's going to be able to sway me or, whatever they thinking because it ain't your path. So I'm not going to sway you from yours. So you're not going to sway me from mine. And I think that the more that we can get this information out on any platform in any way that we can is more beneficial to more people than the people putting out a bunch of bullshit all the time of negative things and messing with people's frequency because we need to be on more of a positive tip now more than ever. You know what I mean? So I it it warms my heart to bring value. positive value to people, as well as like real information that someone can go out and use as soon as they get off of here. You know what I mean? So if that's not like proof of concept of what I'm doing and what I want to achieve by freeing as many minds as I can before I'm not here anymore, then I don't know what else to tell you. Um, Anybody that comes here, always welcome. You know, support for support. But I will let y'all know. We're gonna be here next Monday. I think I'm gonna get into next Monday. I want to talk about comedic. I didn't get to before because that migraine was killing me. But I want to get into uh Kemet, you know, comedic sciences, because I do have an Audible book over that. I'm gonna need to do some more research on it to talk about it. But I hope everybody comes back next Monday to talk with me about this. And I do a bi-weekly space with Rax because Rax is very busy. She has things to do. And I love she has things to do. So I'm always excited when she comes around for the biweekly space. It's always good information. I hope that this information actually helps y'all. Y'all can take it through y'all week. There is meditation on there, so you want to listen to the playback. You know what I mean? As well, take some notes. This just for future references. If you come to my spaces, you might want to take a notepad or something, or listen to it back later and take some notes, because there is so many gems dropped. I mean, I should be a billionaire at this point, you would think. But you never know one day. If I get a billion, don't worry. I'm just gonna give it away anyway, because that's what I would think I would do. But like I said, I love all y'all. This is Brunch Before Lunch, episode 26. We were talking about chelonic science, going over the indigo children. I will catch y'all next Monday. I love all y'all. Have a great week. Peace. Sweetness. Mm-mm-mm.